The first form of stock footage ever used in the show was in Edward, Gordon, and Henry. In this episode, Gordon rushes by with the express, and Sir Topham Hatt is shown sitting inside. But this scene of Sir Topham Hatt was also used in the previous episode, The Sad Story of Henry, when James was pulling some coaches. Although this shot wasn't seen in the episode, this shot was originally filmed for Edward and Gordon, but was later used for Thomas and the trucks. If you look really closely, you can see that Edward is smiling like he does in Edward and Gordon. Also, all the engines are in the exact same order they were in Edward and Gordon as well. This makes a big goof in Thomas and the trucks because the engines switch places in the shed. There's also this shot of Thomas's whistle from Thomas's train. This shot of Gordon was used in Edward, Gordon, and Henry, but was later reused for Thomas and the breakdown train. When James is pulling the trucks in Troublesome Trucks, we see this close-up of the trucks, but this shot was originally used in Thomas and the trucks. This shot of James pushing the coaches into the station was used in James and the Coaches, but was reused in James and the Express. Here's an example of pre-filmed stock footage. As you can see, Thomas is going over the bridge, but if you look really closely, you can see people fishing. This is because this scene was also used in Thomas Goes Fishing. Even though there's no way to tell, this scene was filmed for Thomas and Bertie, but was used way before in Thomas and the Guard. Here's some mirrored stock footage from Thomas's train, which was again used in Thomas and the Guard. This shot of Thomas hurrying along after Henry made him late was used in Thomas and the breakdown train. And this scene in Thomas and the Guard was reused in Thomas Terrence in the Snow. In Thomas and Bertie, this scene was used when Bertie was passing Thomas, but it was originally from Thomas and Gordon. Look, Thomas has won the race. Well, not really, because this scene was originally from Thomas and the Guard, but Thomas was puffing to the same location during this shot, so I guess it makes sense. This is the first episode in the entire series to use stock footage from itself. This scene was shown twice in this episode, one time during the race and one time at the end. This scene in Trouble in the Shed where Sir Topham Hatt is talking to Edward is originally from Thomas's train. Here's another scene that was used twice in the same episode. This scene at the end of Trouble in the Shed was reused for the start of Percy Runs Away. For the longest time, I wondered why Sir Topham Hatt was smiling when he said he was probably most likely going to get rid of Henry because Henry was being sick and stuff. But the reason is because this is stock footage from Troublesome Trucks. This scene from Cole is originally from Edward, Gordon, and Henry. Same with this scene. This is one of the weirdest examples of stock footage ever. It's pre-filmed stock footage, but it wasn't supposed to be. You see, in Cole, Henry has his old shape. But in this one scene, Henry is in his new shape. But in The Flying Kipper, when Henry does get his new shape, there's a scene where he's in his old shape. So they switched the footage by accident, basically. This scene was originally in The Flying Kipper as well, but it was reused in the next episode, Whistles and Sneezes. Now I know Henry's in his old shape again, that's a mistake. I'm guessing they probably were originally going to use this scene for another episode. Presumably Edward, Gordon, and Henry, my guess would be, but who knows. And this scene is originally from Cole, and so is this one. Although not shown in the episode, this scene was originally filmed for Cole, but then used for Thomas in Trouble. This scene in Down the Mine is alternate footage from Thomas and Bertie. This scene is originally from Thomas and the Guard, and this scene is originally from Thomas and Bertie. Now we're getting to the good stuff. So if you didn't know, before the show went into production, in 1983, there was a pilot made, and it was a recreation of the episode Down the Mine. Now, some of the scenes from this pilot have made it into the 1984 Season 1 episode. Now keep in mind, only one of these scenes was confirmed to be from the original pilot, so the other three are just predictions. Here's the scene that was confirmed. Here are the scenes that are just predictions. In this scene, the signal box behind Annie is the same one from the original pilot. This scene is presumed to be from the pilot because on the board it says, "Engines must not pass this board." But for the rest of the episode, the sign says, "Not past this point." This Sir Topham Hatt differs from the one seen in the episode and for the rest of Season 1, so it is presumed that every scene with this Sir Topham Hatt face is from the pilot. And finally, this scene is presumed to be from the pilot because on this large-scale model of Thomas, his buffers are black, but during Season 1, they're silver. This scene used in Thomas's Christmas party was originally used in Thomas Terrence in the Snow, and this is another reusal of the whistle from Thomas's train. This scene of Birdie from Birdie's Chase may look familiar. That's because this is a scene from Thomas and Birdie from Season 1. And now we're already getting to the good stuff. If you guys didn't know, The Missing Coach was originally going to be an episode in Season 2, but Britt and David removed it because they thought it would be too confusing for kids to understand. But a few of the clips recorded for that episode were used in other episodes. First up, we have this clip. This clip was originally going to be used at the start of The Missing Coach, but then they ended up using it for Save from Scrap. For the people who don't know how it was proved that this was originally from The Missing Coach, I'll tell you. Pause right here. If you look, there's James's tender. Why does this matter? Well, a while back, a bunch of film cells from The Missing Coach were leaked online, and this was one of them. And you may be wondering, how do we know for sure that this is a film cell from The Missing Coach? What if it's just a deleted scene from Save from Scrap? Well, first of all, that wouldn't make any sense, because why would they need this clip of James in the episode when it's an episode about Edward? And second, here's an excerpt from the Railway Series story. Dirty trucks, dirty sidings, ah! Now this line is from the story Hello Twins, but it is assumed that they combined both Hello Twins and The Missing Coach into one episode. We'll talk about more Missing Coach clips later. This shot from Thomas and Trevor is alternative stock footage of Save from Scrap. This is the first example of what I like to call lazy stock footage. Obviously this is a shot from Season 1's Cole. You can clearly tell that it's Henry's cab and Henry's driver, but they used it in Percy in the Signal. Here's another example of lazy stock footage. Again, it's Henry's cab, but it was used in Percy and Harold. Although not shown in the episode, this is stock footage from Thomas, Percy, and the Cole that was reused for The Runaway. This is a zoomed out version of the shot from Old Iron showing James's driver being ill. We've seen this clip before. It was used as stock footage already, but now it's being used in The Runaway. Same with this clip. There's also a bunch of stock footage in this episode from Percy and Harold. Here's the first one of Harold flying. Here's the second one, and if you look really closely in the background, you can see smoke. If you couldn't guess from the title of the episode the footage is from, it's Percy's smoke. And here's the third one. If you couldn't tell, it's the exact same clip that was shown earlier, but it's flipped. This is a scene that was originally going to be used for Thomas and Trevor, but was later reused for Better Late Than Never. Here's some more stock footage from Season 1. These two are from Thomas and the Guard. Here's the first one, and the second one. Here's another one from Thomas and Birdie, and oh, what's this? It's another usage of the stock footage of Thomas's whistle from Thomas's train. Alright, back to The Missing Coach. So while The Missing Coach was being filmed, this shot and another one I'm going to show you after were going to be used when Donald and Douglas were introduced. But since The Missing Coach got cancelled, they added a little short part at the start of Break Van with some of the footage left over so that Donald and Douglas still have an introductory thing. At the beginning of Thomas Comes to Breakfast, we have this stock footage from Thomas and the Guard, and also some more deleted stock footage from Thomas, Percy, and the Cole, except this time it's from Farther Away. Here's some stock footage from Percy Runs Away used in Percy's Predicament, and here's some more stock footage from Percy and Harold. At the beginning of Edward's exploit, we have this stock footage from Birdie's Chase. And look, we have this stock footage again from Thomas and Birdie, used also at the beginning of Edward's exploit. Oh look, it's this shot of Percy's whistle, again, used in Woolly Bear. Hey guys, do you remember this shot? Yeah, it's from Thomas's train, again. Oh wait, James is here, but it's flipped. Yeah, it's still the same shot, it doesn't matter. Also, yeah, this is used in Thomas and the Missing Christmas Tree. Also, yeah, there's also stock footage from Thomas Terrence in the Snow in this episode, so yeah. This is a shot from Percy's Promise. It was clearly filmed during Season 1, but this shot wasn't seen anywhere during Season 1. This is what you would call B-roll footage. B-roll footage is basically footage that wasn't really filmed for a specific reason, but could be used later at any time. It's the same for this shot as well. This scene of Gordon was filmed specifically for Gordon and the Famous Visitor, but was used earlier in Time for Trouble. Same with this shot. Here's some pre-filmed stock footage in Donald's Duck, which was actually filmed for Mavis. The episode makes you assume that the stuff on the ground is gravel, but if you look really closely, it's more white than yellow, meaning it's actually snow. This scene of Thomas going by the watermill was originally from Percy's Promise, but was later reused in Thomas Gets Bumped. Here's some more B-roll footage from Season 1 that was used at the beginning of Trust Thomas. This scene was originally used in Thomas Percy and the Post Train, but was reused in Percy James and the Fruitful Day. And this scene that was also from Percy James and the Fruitful Day is stock footage from Heroes. Even though this scene wasn't even used in Heroes, we can tell that it's from Heroes because of the background. If we look at the episode, you can tell that they replaced this scene with this scene. And finally, this scene from All at Sea was reused for Thomas and Percy's Christmas adventure. At the start of Sleeping Beauty, there's a recap of the previous episode Grandpuff, meaning there's a lot of footage from that episode. Here's some more recap footage from Peter, Sam, and the Refreshment Lady, originally used in A Bad Day for Sir Handel. This scene of Duncan rocking and rolling along the line was filmed for, you guessed it, Rock and Roll, but was used an episode earlier in Home at Last. This scene from A Bad Day for Sir Handel was later reused for Passengers and Polish. This scene of Stepney was filmed for Rusty and the Rescue, but wasn't used in the episode, so it was later reused in Thomas and Stepney. The scene of Oliver falling into the turntable well from Oliver Owns Up was reused for Toad Stands By. The Season 1 scenes of Gordon falling into a ditch and Thomas falling down a mine were reused for Paint Pots and Queens. This scene of the signal going down in Paint Pots and Queens was reused from Thomas and Stepney. This scene from Fish is either alternative or edited stock footage from A Bad Day for Sir Handel. The footage of the storm from Cranky Bugs is actually stock footage from Henry's Forest. The scene of James whistling in Horrid Laurie is stock footage from Thomas and the Special Letter, except it's flipped. This shot of Rheneas from Toby and the Flood is an alternate version of this shot from Gallant Old Engine. This shot at the start of Haunted Henry is actually stock footage from Thomas Percy and the Dragon. You can tell because that's Percy right there. That's Percy. It's pretty obvious. This scene from Cranky Bugs was later reused for Double Teething Troubles. This scene from Stepney Gets Lost was originally from Rusty to the Rescue, and this scene is a deleted scene from Rusty to the Rescue that was later reused also in Stepney Gets Lost. This scene, which was used in Stepney Gets Lost, is actually stock footage from the previous episode Double Teething Troubles. This scene of Sir Topham Hatt and Toby's discovery was used twice in this episode. This scene of Harold in the Sky was filmed for Thomas and the Rumors, but it was used earlier in Thomas, Percy, and Old Slow Coach, but with Harold edited out. This scene of Harold at the end of Thomas and the Rumors is stock footage from the Season 4 episode Trucks. This scene from By George at the Sleepy Signalman was later reused for Oliver's Find, but edited to make it look like it was nighttime. This scene was filmed for Sir Topham Hatt's Holiday, but was later reused for Oliver's Find. Oh look, it's this again in Sir Topham Hatt's Holiday. Also, this scene is from Thomas and the Rumors, and then it cuts to this shot, and then it cuts to the same shot, but they flipped it for some reason, I don't know. At the start of A Surprise for Percy, it uses stock footage from Put Upon Percy. This shot was used in Put Upon Percy, but this shot is a deleted scene. Okay, Make Someone Happy has way too much stock footage, okay? Here's all the stock footage they used. Sir Topham Hatt's Holiday, Thomas and the Rumors, Four Little Engines, Peter Sam and the refreshment lady. Keep in mind he has his old funnel again. And Thomas and the rumors again. Some close-ups of Toad and Busy going backwards are shown multiple times. And one time they even flip one to make it look like a different shot. Hi, this is Future James is here. I just realized that they didn't flip the shot to make it look different. They flipped the shot so that Toad would be on the wrong side of the line. So, yeah, you can tell because Toad's lamp is on the wrong side. And finally, 2 shots from snow are stock footage from Thomas and Percy's Christmas adventure. A few scenes from Harvey to the Rescue were reused in No Sleep for Cranky. This scene from Salty Secret was also reused in No Sleep for Cranky, as well as these scenes from Cranky Bugs. By the way, these next 2 were edited with like a black circle around them, but they're still from Cranky Bugs. And finally, this scene from Something in the Air. This scene from The Fogman is originally from James and the Trouble with Trees, except it's flipped. This scene from Jack Jumps In was reused in its sequel episode of Friend in Need. And these 2 scenes from A Friend in Need were reused in the next episode, It's Only Snow. This is probably the most infamous using of stock footage in Season 6. They actually used these 2 scenes twice in Middle Engines, one at the start and one near the end. As you've probably already noticed that James is slightly off screen in both of the scenes. This is because these 2 scenes were recorded during the scene where James was actually next to both of them. But because they reused these 2 scenes at the start, James is just randomly next to them at the start, even though James isn't even at the smelters. The only reason why they let this slide is because when this episode originally aired, it was cropped into full screen, so you wouldn't even see James. Here's some more really lazy stock footage. So in the scene where Elizabeth rolls up next to Percy, I'm guessing they forgot to get a shot. I'm guessing they forgot to get a close-up of Percy from this angle. So instead of doing a reshoot, they decided, hey, let's take a scene 10 seconds later and just flip it. That no one will notice that Percy's freaking number is flipped. They also reused this scene from Percy's Promise. These scenes from Toby Had a Little Lamb were reused from Thomas and Percy's Christmas Adventure. Or if you're stupid American, Thomas and Percy's Mountain Adventure. This scene from Percy's Chocolate Crunch was reused in Thomas Percy and the Squeak. And this scene from Thomas Percy and the Squeak was reused from Scaredy Engines, but it's cropped. This scene from Thomas and the Jet Engine was reused from Gordon Takes a Tumble. And this scene from Thomas and the Jet Engine was reused from By George. And finally, this scene from Thomas and the Jet Engine was reused in Edward the Very Useful Engine, except it's an alternate scene where the camera is closer to the man in the signal box. Not only did Emily's New Coaches use stock footage of Thomas's whistle, but it actually used 2 scenes of stock footage of Thomas's whistle. This scene of Thomas and the Rumors was reused in Percy Gets It Right. Percy Gets It Right also uses a deleted scene from Thomas Gets Bumped that was used in Let's Have a Race. This scene of Fergus at the start of Bill, Ben, and Fergus was filmed specifically for the ending of Fergus Breaks the Rules. This scene from the old bridge is actually a deleted scene from Duncan Duncan. And this scene was actually used in Duncan Duncan. This deleted scene from the grand opening was used in both Edward's Brass Band and The Runaway Elephant. This scene from Edward the Very Useful Engine was also used in Edward's Brass Band. Hey, do you guys remember this image? Yeah, this is from Scaredy Engines, but they edited the cropped version from Thomas Percy and the Squeak. This scene from What's the Matter with Henry was originally used in Henry and the Elephant, but it's flipped. Here's all the stock footage used in James and the Queen of Sodor. Oliver Owns Up, 4 Little Engines, James and the Red Balloon but flipped. And this scene of Percy's whistle was used twice, but for the second time it was used in the episode, it was flipped. These two scenes from Rusty Saves the Day were reused for the Refreshment Lady's Tea Shop. Here's all the stock footage used in Toby's windmill. Trucks. A deleted scene from Time for Trouble. Special attraction. And the Fogman. Also, for some reason, in this scene, they digitally added Toby's driver's head, like from the last picture I showed you. Like, I'll zoom in. Like, why did they do that? Like, I don't understand. It looks creepy as heck. This scene from Twin Trouble was reused in Bad Day at Castle Lock. This scene from Rheneas and the Roller Coaster uses unused footage from Series 6. It was probably most likely used in Rusty Saves the Day. This scene, which was originally from Thomas and Percy's Christmas Adventure, was reused in Snow Engine. And again, if you're a stupid American, Thomas and Percy's Mountain Adventure Something Fishy is another episode to use unused stock footage from Series 6. This one, I don't know what episode this could have come from. This scene from Fish was reused in Peace and Quiet. Here's all the stock footage from Bulgy Rides Again. Percy's Chocolate Crunch. Peter, Sam, and the Refreshment Lady. No Sleep for Cranky. And Bulgy, but they're all edited, and one of them's a deleted scene. Okay, out of all the episodes in Season 7, I think I found the one with the most amount of stock footage, and that episode is Harold and the Flying Horse. Here is all the stock footage from this episode. James and the Red Balloon. Trucks. Make someone happy. Make someone happy again. Oliver's Find. Thomas and the Rumors. Edward's Brass Band. And Thomas and the Rumors again. Boy, that's a lot of frickin' stock footage. Boy howdy, does Best Dressed Engine have a lot of lazy stock footage. First of all, they used this stock footage already in the season, and they also used this stock footage already in the season. And then they also decided to use stock footage from Season 1 and flip it, so that's cool. These ones are not as bad, though. This one's from Special Attraction, and these two are from Bulgy Rides Again. Alright, I'm going to play a little game with you guys. I want you guys to try to figure out which episode this stock footage is from. So this is stock footage from Thomas and the Jet Engine. Okay, here's some stock footage from Time for Trouble. Okay. And here's some stock footage from Save from Scrap. Okay, what episode is this? Are you thinking Edward episode? Wrong, it's Gordon and Spencer. Someone in the stock footage department thought that this was Gordon's whistle. Idiots. Oh, we got some more idiots using more Season 1 stock footage, and even worse, Henry's in his old shape again, woohoo! Oh, and yeah, this is from Not So Hasty Puddings. Original episode, Flying Kipper, but you already knew that. Also, it's edited. This is an edited scene from Winter Wonderland, which is that one Season 6 music video. This is edited stock footage from Snow Engine. Alright, cool. Why? This is probably the most lazy stock footage in all of Thomas and Friends, okay? So first of all, Thomas has a different snowplow from the rest of the episode. Second, Thomas is pulling Annie and Clarabelle in the episode, but in this he's pulling trucks, and Toby's behind him. Where did Toby come from? And also, Thomas is supposed to be happy, but he's angry. This stock footage is so lazy, and it would have been so easy to just record another scene of Thomas puffing through the snow. But no, they had to use stock footage from season 6. Are you serious? And it's not even good stock footage. It's the worst stock footage of all time. Why? This scene from Stepney Gets Lost was reused in Trusty Rusty. And finally, the last episode in season 7. I've been editing this for a long time. 3 cheers for Thomas. Here's all the stock footage in this episode. This is from James and the Red Balloon. Makes someone happy. This is extended stock footage from James and the Queen of Sodor. Bulgy rides again. Percy gets it right. And finally, the last stock footage ever used in the classic series of Thomas and Friends, flipped stock footage of Thomas's whistle from It's Only Snow.